Somebody is going to tell you that self-made millionaires got there because of some secret system that costs thousands of dollars to access, a course, a mastermind, a coach that promises to unlock the one trick nobody else knows. That's not what actually separates them. What separates them is a handful of habits that cost exactly nothing, and most people skip every single one because they sound too boring to matter. I've read through interviews, biographies, and actual documented routines of people who built wealth from nothing, and the pattern isn't flashy. It's not motivational quotes on a wall or a 5 a.m. cold plunge for the camera. It's small, repeated actions that compound the same way money does, quietly in the background, while nobody's watching. So today, I'm walking through 5 daily habits that cost $0, and every single one of them comes with something you can actually start doing today. Not someday, not once you feel ready. Before we get into it, here's the thing that surprised me most while researching this. None of these habits are hard. Not one of them requires talent, luck, or connection. They're just easy to skip, which is exactly why most people never build them, and exactly why the small number of people who do build them end up so far ahead of everyone else who's waiting for a better time to start. Let's go. The first habit is tracking every dollar, not budgeting, just tracking. Most people think rich people got rich by budgeting aggressively, cutting coffee, living on rice and beans. That's not quite it, and honestly, obsessing over small cuts before you even know where the money's going is backwards. What self-made millionaires actually do is know exactly where their money goes, down to the dollar, every single day, without exception. You can't fix what you can't see, and most people genuinely don't know where half their money disappears to every month. They just feel like it's gone. Here's your first step. Open your banking app right now and look at your last 10 transactions. Just look. Don't judge them. Don't change anything yet. Just actually see them. That awareness alone, just seeing the pattern clearly, changes spending behavior faster than any budget spreadsheet ever will. Because you can't unsee something once you've actually looked at it. The second habit is reading for 20 minutes a day, but not fiction. And not social media disguised as reading because you told yourself scrolling counts. Specifically material that teaches you something you can use, an industry, a skill, a person's actual documented story of how they built something from nothing. The compounding here isn't from one book. It's from doing this quietly for years, while everyone else spends that same 20 minutes scrolling past other people's highlight reels. Your first step. Pick one book about money, business, or a skill you actually want, and read the first page tonight. Not the whole book, not a chapter, the first page. That's the habit starting, and starting small is the entire point. But before I get to the habit that actually matters most on this list, I want to ask you something. Which of these 5 feels the hardest for you to actually stick with? Not just start, but stick with. Comment the number below because I read every single one, and it genuinely tells me exactly which habit to break down deeper in a future video. The third habit is saying no to things immediately instead of thinking about it for days or weeks or letting it quietly rot in the back of your mind. Self-made millionaires protect 2 things obsessively, time and attention, because both are the only truly non-renewable resources any of us actually have. You can always make more money. You can never make more hours. Every yes to something small is a no to something bigger later, whether that's an extra hour of work you didn't need to take on, a side project that drains you, or a distraction dressed up as an opportunity. Here's your first step. The next time someone asks for your time today, and you feel that hesitation, that little maybe I should feeling creeping in, say no before you talk yourself into yes. Just once. Notice how uncomfortable it feels, and notice that you survive it anyway. The fourth habit is the one that changed how I think about all of this, and it's almost embarrassingly simple. They review their goals daily. Not yearly, not monthly, daily. Not in some elaborate journaling ritual with candles and a fresh notebook, just a few seconds of actually looking at what they're working toward before the day gets away from them and swallows their intentions whole. Most people set a goal in January, feel motivated for exactly 2 weeks, and never look at it again until December, wondering why absolutely nothing changed. The people who actually build wealth look at theirs constantly, so every decision that day, even the small ones, gets filtered through it without them consciously trying. Your first step: write down one financial goal on a sticky note right now and put it somewhere you'll actually see it tomorrow morning. Your mirror, your laptop, your fridge. That's the whole habit. Seeing it daily does the rest of the work for you. The fifth habit is treating relationships like compound interest, not networking in the fake, transactional, business card collecting way people rightfully hate. Actually staying in touch with people, checking in without needing anything from them, remembering small details about their lives because you actually cared enough to listen the first time. The opportunities that change someone's financial trajectory, the job offer, the partnership, the tip that changes everything, rarely come from a stranger cold emailing them. They come from someone who already knew them and thought of them at exactly the right moment. That only happens if the relationship was maintained quietly, long before it was ever needed. Your first step: text one person right now that you haven't talked to in a while. No agenda, no ask, just checking in. That's it. That one message, the one that takes you 15 seconds to send, might be worth more than you think a year from now, in ways you can't predict today. Here's what nobody tells you about all 5 of these. None of them look impressive. Nobody's filming themselves tracking transactions or texting an old coworker for their morning routine video. There's no highlight reel for reviewing a goal for 10 seconds every morning. No dramatic before and after. No applause. That's exactly why most people don't do it, because it doesn't feel like progress in the moment, and we've all been trained to chase things that feel like progress instead of things that actually are progress. But wealth doesn't get built in the moments that feel impressive. It gets built in the 10,000 boring repetitions nobody ever sees, the ones that happen when there's no camera and no one watching, and no reason to do it except that you said you would. I didn't start doing all 5 of these at once. And honestly, you shouldn't either, because trying to overhaul everything at once is how people quit by day 3. Pick the one that felt the most uncomfortable while I described it just now, because that discomfort is usually pointing exactly at the habit you need most. Do the 10-second version of it today, right now if you can. Then come back and tell me which one you picked, because next time I'm breaking down exactly how to turn whichever one gets the most comments into an actual daily system you can run on autopilot.